Alright guys, part 3. I have 35 minutes left on my phone. I forget what I talked about. Yeah. I could have Samuel Jackson have a small minor role like he did for Captain Marvel. Like he did for what? Sorry, like he did for Avengers. He had some minor roles obviously. But what? But he's just gonna cost me millions. Samuel Jackson will not do a minor role for $2,000. No, he's gonna demand like a 5 million, something crazy like 5 million, even 10 million bucks. He might demand. Hey, if you want me to have a minor role in your movie, I want the dough. You gotta pay me some cheddar, man. You gotta pay me nice 10 million bucks, Mike. And that's why I'm not gonna what. He's out of the picture, man. I'm not gonna hire Samuel Jackson. Before I thought he was good for the movie, but the problem is if I have Samuel Jackson as the boss of the movie, obviously, I can't have him fight because he's too old, man. I'll just have him be the big boss who doesn't fight. But I want the big boss to also fight, too. I want Ben Affleck fighting in the movie, too. You know what I'm saying? He's the big boss of the big secret organization. And then Keanu Reeves and Scarlett Johansson are up there in the company, but they're not like the big boss. Ben Affleck is the big boss, and Scarlett Johansson and them are they work in the company, obviously. And they're badass fighters too. I won't have Scarlett Johansson and Keanu Reeves be hitmen, no. I think that's kind of weird. But I'll have them fight in the movie. Like in Me and VJ on the Run, you see Scarlett Johansson and Keanu Reeves, they come after us. My idea is when Me and VJ are on the run, they mark us for death. Obviously, they send all these hitmen after us, all the top hitmen in the company. Obviously, I'll have those guys be minor roles, pay them like their $250,000-$300,000. Whereas Javier Bardem is the main hitman. He's like the baddest hitman of them all. They send all him after us, and then you know what I'm saying, and like you know what I'm saying, and then what? And like me and VJ are kicking ass, obviously, and he sends Javier Bardem. He's like, kill them. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I've sent my best men, and these guys have escaped them. You know what I'm saying? Like, holy shit! We're like, yeah. We're dealing. This I didn't expect this. You know what I'm saying, like Ben Affleck is shocked, and he sends Javier Bardem, and he to find us, obviously, and you know what I'm saying, yeah. Javier Bardem is a badass hitman in the movie, obviously. So my idea for the movie is what? This is how you know I'm creative. My idea for the movie is it starts off with a couple in Italy, obviously. They're on the run from the hitman, or from the big organization, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And Ben Affleck's like, did you kill them? You know what I'm saying? He's like talking to her. He's like, it's done. You know what I'm saying? And then pretty much they're on the run, and I think they go in his room. And his wife's like, what are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I'll have the first like 12 minutes of the movie be about the story, a prologue about that couple who did not escape the big secret organization, and they end up getting killed. Remember the movie Vacancy? Remember the movie Vacancy with Kate Beckinsale and Luke Wilson? Remember that scene when they watched the videotape, obviously, and you saw that couple, the people break in and they kill them, obviously? Yeah, those people were not the lucky couples, was those two people are the lucky couples who escaped. Those people, yeah, something similar to that for The Great Escape. It's better than Vacancy, something better than that, man. Remember in Vacancy how those guys were freaky? Yeah, think something even scarier than that. You're looking at freaky hitmen, man. I'm about to have you, Bardem, look, but I want you acting the way you did for Country Road, man. I want you destroying the role, man. Yeah, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? He destroys the role of the hitman. You're looking at a rated R, like, freaky movie, yeah. Like, badass hitman coming after something darker than John Wick. Not John Wick is badass, yeah. Keanu Reeves fights in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Scarlett Johansson fights in the movie, yeah. Ben Affleck fights in the movie. I'm going to have car chases, gun chases. You know what I'm saying? I don't know exactly the ins and outs. I have a lot of ideas for the story. A lot of ideas. I just have some quick ideas right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, Keanu Reeves and Ben Affleck already know how good my movie will be. They can see the future. Holy shit, Ivan's creative, yeah. You're looking at an amazing movie, yeah. An action, crazy thriller movie, yeah. Obviously. So once the couple dies, obviously, Ben Affleck is like, we're gonna need new recruits. We killed them. So is it done? He's like, yeah, it's done. He's like, those two people thought they can fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? No. Nobody what? Nobody works for my company and gets out. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna need new recruits. You know what I'm saying? And in Keanu Reeves, Scarlett Johansson, we'll train the recruits. We'll train them. You know what I'm saying? We'll train them. I'm saying, Javier Bardem, you can have him train them too. You can have Javier Bardem. He trains me and VJ with some gun stuff. Give him some scenes. Give him some scenes. Obviously, have Javier Bardem. He trains me and VJ with gun shooting and all that stuff. He's like the best gunman in what in the company and all that stuff. Yeah. And Keanu Reeves and Scarlett Johansson train us in fighting moves. They train us in the company, and Ben Affleck's like, welcome. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And once the prologue ends and the couple dies and we're going to recruits, I'm going to throw in a Matrix Easter egg. Let's get a search going. And then Paul Bettany's like, I'll scout in America. Where in America? I don't know. What about New York region? New York region seems good. They have this advanced technology, something like James Bond 007, right? Something high tech. This organization. He's like, I'll scout New York region. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And you get this music, and it's like the Great Escape. You know what I'm saying? And you get this, the credits of like New York City. Holy shit, you're crazy. Yes, I know how to tell a good story, man. You get the credits of New York City, obviously. And you get the credits of New York City, The Great Escape, directed by so-and-so, you know what I'm saying? Cast starring Keanu Reeves, you know what I'm saying? John Krasinski, all those guys. Ivan O'Mara, Victoria Justice. Producers, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, all those guys, right? Or the Russo brothers, whoever I hire, right? And the transfers to me in employment center, I'm frustrated because I can't find jobs. I'm like, you see me frustrated? Media's like, it's okay, honey, you know what I'm saying? I'm yelling at the attendant, obviously. And then throughout, the beginning of the movie is about me and VJ looking for jobs. We can't find jobs. Obviously, think something like Company Ben with Ben Affleck. It's a sad theme. You get the sad music. I have a smoke outside. VJ has a smoke, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And we can't find jobs, obviously. And then Paul Bettany gives us the offer that we can't refuse, obviously. He bribes us with a $2,000 gift card, obviously. He bribes us with a $2,000 gift card, obviously. Obviously, right? He bribes us with a $2,000 gift card. And what? And then me and VJ, we end up taking the job. And the moment we take the job, that's when you're going to get the scenes with John Krasinski and Brie Larson, if they're chosen. High chance they are chosen. You get scenes with them. They're husband and wife. You know what I'm saying? And we meet them on the plane, and we talk with them. Hey, you know, so you got the job? Yeah, I got the job too. You know what I'm saying? Who recruited you? Yeah, he recruited me. Where are you from? You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm from New York too, New York region. You know what I'm saying? We talk, obviously, yeah. And me and VJ become friends with the couples, obviously, and we all train the company. And the moment we train the company, you're gonna get the life of me and VJ training the company. But I'm also gonna have scenes with John Krasinski and Brie Larson and all them training the company. And you see, Bath like, welcome to the secret organization. You know what I'm saying? We're all, wow, holy shit, this is nice. Like a nice secret organization. It's just a nice building. You know what I'm saying? And like the first the second half of the movie is us training the company. So a good 45 minutes of the movie, we're training the company, we get our personal life. We're training the company, it shows us scenes when we're in the dorms, and I talk with like John Krasinski and Paul and Brie Larson and all those guys. Yeah, we're training the company, we sleep in dorms, and all that stuff in the company when we train. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to do a scene whenever we go to the company, I'm going to do a scene where me, VJ, John Krasinski, Brie Larson and all them, and the other two more couples, obviously. I'm going to have 6 couples. So you have John Krasinski, Brie Larson, you have 4 more couples, obviously. 4 more couples. So I'll have 1 more small A-lister, and the other 3 I'll cast B-list actors. A lot of good counts, though. You have Nina Dobrev, she's good for the movie. You have Zoe Kang. You have Zoe Kang be one of the couples. You have the, what's that woman's name who did Rivendell? I forget her name. You have the people who did Rivendell. You have the Veronica chick. You can have her be in the movie. You can have the Betty chick, whatever her name is. You know what I'm saying? Stephen Amell. You have a lot of good cans who are good for the movie, obviously. Stephen Amell, I'd pay him like $3.3 million for the role. 3.5 million. Pay him a bit more because he did Arrow. Arrow was a popular show. You can pay him $3.5 million. Stephen Amell. That's a good paycheck for him. He's walking away with a nice $1.5 million in his bank. That's a good paycheck for Stephen Amell. Obviously, it's a good paycheck for him. $1.4 million he's walking away with his bank. That's a good paycheck for Stephen Amell. Pay him 3.5 Stephen Amell if he's chosen, and have him be one of the couples who trains in the company, obviously. So my idea is when me and VJ train the company, Me and Vijay are the main characters, obviously. But I'm also gonna have scenes with John Krasinski and Brie Larson and them, and you won't see John Krasinski and all of them until like we meet them in the plane. Whereas before that, me and Vijay are the main focus of the story. But the moment we meet them in the plane, though, they also become the main focus of the story. Give them some scenes. Considering I'm not going to pay you a lot of money for nothing, you got to give these guys a lot of scenes. I know what I'm doing. Give them scenes. Whenever we train the company, you give. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Me, Vijay, and all of them. Me and Vijay, we stay in this dorm or something like that. We stay in dorms or an apartment, and you get scenes with John and Brie Larson. You know what I'm saying? They kiss. They talk, you know what I'm saying? And Brie Larson's like, something feels a bit. John Krasinski talks to Brie Larson. I don't know, something feels a bit off about this company. He's curious. I'm saying, it's like, everything seems too good to be true, and eventually they get killed. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, obviously they get killed. Obviously, yeah. I'm gonna do a scene where me and Vijay we sign a contract. We go in the office, and Ben Affleck is in the room. And he signs his contract. He offers us a deal of a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to pay you this amount of money. We'll pay you a rich $200,000 salary or something like that. We'll pay you a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And me and Vijay sign his contract. We're living a rich life, obviously. And John Krasinski and Brie Larson sign their contracts. And little do all, and the other four couples, the other two couples sign their contracts too. But little did we all know that we signed a deal with the devil. As once you sign the contract with this company, there's no getting out. So it comes at a price. It comes at a price, pretty much. So it's a symbolism of me signing a deal with the devil, obviously, with the gatekeepers, obviously. As once what they signal says, I'm gonna find out how dirty they really are. Yeah, either you share for the rest of your life, or you die to be with your wife to make your money. Yeah, I signed a deal with the I signed a deal with the devil, obviously. You have to have sex with your stepmother. Yeah, it's a symbolism of me. That's where I get the idea of the Great Escape story. It's a symbolism of me fighting the gatekeepers and all that stuff. I am the lucky one who escaped the gatekeepers. Even though I suffered death, I came back from death. I'm the only one in this world who has financial control and who can be free and make my billions. Whereas no one around the world can make their free billions. No, they all got to do it. Jeff Bezos has to do it. Bill Gates has to do it. Mark Cuban has to do it. They all have to do it because they all sold out. They're all sellouts. Whereas Ivan Murray has his own keys. He doesn't have to do anything. You see what I'm saying? Get some symbolism with the Great Escape, obviously. And yeah. And then once we trade a company, work eventually starts. We all become secret agents, obviously. And you get a good, 20 minutes of the movie is us working in a company. We're bad secret agents, obviously. And then eventually two couples go missing, obviously. Something happens, they get curious about the company and they go missing. I know they say, I quit, I don't want to work for this company anymore, and they end up getting killed. And John Krasinski and the other two couples are what, and the other couple are like, hey, where are all the other recruits? And then John Krasinski's like, Ivan and Vijay, and I'm saying, I think something happened to them. Brie Larson and John are scared, obviously. Like, this company, I don't think this company is what I think it is. You know what I'm saying? Then the other two couples go missing again. And John Krasinski's curious. He asks around, he's like, where are all the other recruits? And Ben's like, don't worry. He's like, it's none of your business. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? They're sick. He's lying. You know what I'm saying? Really, he killed them, obviously. You know what I'm saying? He's like, we don't want to work for you. We quit. Like, this everything. Like, I don't want to work for you anymore. You know what I'm saying? And they end up marking them for death. And I'll have scenes where the couple's on the run. You know what I'm saying? And they all end up getting, all those three couples are on the run. They all getting killed. You have, and I'll have John Krasinski and Brie Larson. They're the last couple to get killed before me and Vijay find out that the company's dirty, obviously. And they all end up killed, and one day me and Vijay go to work, we're like, hey, where are all the recruits? Oh, they're what? They're what? They're missing. They're sick. You know what I'm saying, how long will they be sick? Yeah, they'll be sick for a couple days. You know what I'm saying? And 4 days go by, and the recruits still don't show up. Hey, where are all the recruits? It's been 5 days. And Ben Affleck is he's like, it's none of your business, I'm saying. Something like that, you know what I'm saying. And then me and Vijay end up finding out the company's dirty and we're on the run and we're kicking ass. And Ben Affleck marks us for death. He's like, kill them. You know what I'm saying? And me and Vijay are on the run and we're kicking ass, man. Kicking ass, we're fast games like James Bond. Imagine sending badass hitmen after us. Me and Vijay are kicking ass. And Keanu Reeves and them are evil. Keanu Reeves and then Scarlett Johansson are evil people. Obviously, they're evil. Obviously, Ben Affleck is evil. Who does this guy think he is? You think he just fuck with me? Fuck with my company? You know, Ben Affleck is crazy. He's a crazy boss. I'm saying, yeah. No one fucks with me, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, he's crazy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Looking at a massive story. Yeah, that's why The Great Escape will guaranteed be the second best movie out of my four movies. Zanus will beat it out, obviously, but Great Escape will be the second best movie out of my four movies, man. It's gonna be a masterpiece of a story. John Krasinski and Keanu Reeves, you guys already know. You can see a future. Like, holy shit, I'm your creative. Yeah, you're looking at an amazing movie, man. But I'm gonna need help. I'm gonna need Jon Favreau and Nick Filoni to help me out. Like, hey guys, I need you help. Like I'm gonna plan out the story, the 3-act structure with VJ. Okay, VJ. The beginning of the story is a prologue. The couple's on the run from the big organization. They get killed, and then me and you are looking for jobs. We get interviews. We don't get the job. We're sad. We chill at the bar. Ben Affleck recruits us, and you know what I'm saying. And then we accept the call. That's Act 1. Act 2 is when we train the company, we work for the company, and we find out the company's dirty, obviously. And Act 3 is when we're on the run, we're kicking ass, and we escape the big great escape story. Holy shit, I know your shit. Yes. I learned from Seinfeld, you have the 3-act structure for what? For the movie. You have the setup, which is Act 1. You have the confrontation of your character, obviously, which is Act 2. We find out the company's dirty. That's the confrontation, obviously. And you have the resolution of the story, which is the solution of the story. We escape the Great Escape organization. Or I'm either going to have me and VJ, we escape the company, obviously, or we bring it down. We bring the whole thing down, man. Something crazy, man. VJ's like, I know, I might have a scene where we go to the airport. Me and VJ, we go to the airport. We try to leave the country. And we pay with our visas, and our visa cards are like declined. They don't work. Sorry, your visa's not working. You know what I'm saying? We put in our passports. Our passports are not working. Something like that. Like, holy shit, this company's powered. And then Vija's like, holy shit, there's no getting out of Italy. This like Vija's like honey, like, what are we gonna do? Like, we have no idea what we're dealing with here. You know, and I'm like, there's only one thing we can do, you know what I'm saying? And we bring the company down. You can do something like that if you want. We bring the whole thing down, man. The Great Escape. Or you can have us escape the company. I don't know. I'm going to have this talk with VJ and Jon Favreau. Hey, John and Dave, you think it's better if we somehow escape the company? Or you think it's better, like, we try to get out of Italy, but like our visa cards are not working. They have power and all that stuff. Yeah, I think it's better, Ivan, if you bring down the company or something like that. Yeah, something crazy. We go to war with the company, obviously. The Great Escape. Yeah, look at that amazing movie, man. And John Krasinski, if he's chosen, or Keanu Reeves, they already know. They already know how. Yeah, we already know how good the movie is. We can see the future. Yeah, you can see the future. You know how top notch the Great Escape movie. You're looking at a masterpiece, man. Yeah, and because I paid Ben Affleck, because Ben Affleck signed his what? Because Ben Affleck signed like his 80, 85, $90 million deal, and Scarlett Johansson and Keanu Reeves are going to destroy the role. If you think Keanu Reeves acting in John Wick is top notch, think of acting better than that. If you know what I'm saying. If you thought Ben Affleck's acting in Justice League was top notch, think of acting better than that. You know what I'm saying. If you thought John Krasinski's acting in A Quiet Place was good, think of acting better than that for The Great Escape, because I paid him more money. As he only made probably like $2 million for A Quiet Place. Because A Quiet Place was only like a $17 million budget, so chances are he made his shitty money. He probably only made like $2 million for the movie, you see what I'm saying? And he destroyed the role for A Quiet Place, John Krasinski. I have not seen A Quiet Place 2. Came out last year, I did not see it. I have to watch A Quiet Place 2. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, man, that's why I'm looking at an amazing story for my Great Escape movie, man. You're looking at a masterpiece, man. But it won't be as good as Zanus, guys. Trust me, I wrote my Last One for Zanus story. My Last One for Zanus, I wrote my Last One for Zanus, what? I wrote my Last One for Zanus book, and I'm like, yeah, if you apply this kind of story to the screen, none of my four movies will top this. The Hidden Valley movie will be a masterpiece. Very Unique will be a masterpiece. The Great Escape will be a masterpiece. The Western Gangster will be a masterpiece, but they will not be as good as They will not be as good as Zanus. Zanus is a masterpiece, guys. Trust me. Once all you Zanus actors read my book, you're all going to be shocked. Like, holy shit, Ivan wrote this on his own with no help? Like, all these famous authors like George R. Martin and J.K. Rowling, you know what I'm saying? They all wrote their books with help. Like all these, they have, the publishing companies have editors who go over their manuscript, they polish up their work, they change some things in the draft, obviously. And yet Ivan did everything himself, and he wrote a better book than all of these fucking authors. Yeah, I wrote a masterpiece, guys. A fucking masterpiece. A masterpiece, man. I wrote a masterpiece, guys. You know what I'm saying? Every chapter that you read will hook you. Some chapters are not as good as the others, obviously. Like for volume 1, the prologue is pretty good, but the prologue is a bit rushed. That's why I'm gonna add some more scenes in the movie, obviously, to make it more interesting for the prologue. I want more scenes in the movie, obviously. But he's gonna start the story off with his life. I'm not gonna do like a 10-minute prologue like I did for Lord of the Rings where someone narrates. No. I want to tell the story of Tacius the First, Tacius born, how he, you know what I'm saying? Tell his story, obviously. And you transfer 8 years later to Tacius the Second's life when he's an 8-year-old kid, 8-year-old boy. And you get the life of him behind the walls in Zanus. And later half of volume 1, Tacius him leaving the walls. You know what I'm saying? Ivan, what's the worst chapter in volume 1? The worst chapter in volume 1 is probably the prologue, maybe? Either the prologue or chapter 3 is probably the worst. The best chapter, in my opinion, is either chapter 4 or chapter 2, 22 years later. Those are like my two best chapters. Young Tacius is pretty good too, but it's not as good as chapter 2, 22 years later. It's not as good as the final chapter, In Search for the Prince. See what I'm saying here? Volume 1 is good, but like Volume 2 is when Tacius meets Living on him, that's when it gets a lot more interesting. Volume 2 is a lot more interesting than Volume 1. And in Volume 3, in my opinion, it gets even more interesting because you get the unexpected climax. Tacius is more mature. You know what I'm saying? You get the Walking with the Answers chapter with Erotet and Tacius. It's a lot more interesting, obviously. The Holy Answer to the North, the Holy Answer to the South, the war in the end, the battle in the caves, Ephesus. That's why I like Volume 3 the best. But some people might like Volume 2 better. I personally like Volume 3 a bit better. It's very close, but I like Volume 3 like a Volume 3 is better by a slim margin. I like better. It's more interesting in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to talk about my Zanus book here before I end this video here. Yeah. So even though my 4 movies will be good movies, you guys see the future, you know how good they'll be, obviously. Zanus will beat out those 4 movies. As Erotet's Adele himself, you know what I'm saying? Advance is a better story. It's a more powerful story. The Great Escape is a powerful story, obviously, but it's not as powerful as Zanus. And Zanus is a unique story. Whereas there are a lot of movies that were made that were similar to The Great Escape, like Vacancy, The Firm. You know what I'm saying? The Firm. Remember the movie The Firm? Yeah, The Firm. The Firm with Tom Cruise. They work for this firm. They find out they're watching them as dirty. Yeah, there's a lot of movies that were made that were similar to The Great Escape. You have The Firm. You have Vacancy. You have a lot of movies similar to The Great Escape, obviously. Obviously, right? Well, there's no movie like Zanus. Zanus is a unique story. Trust me, when you read my book, you'll see what I mean. It's like the Bible, but like Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth. It's a fucking unique story, man. It's a fucking masterpiece, yeah. Trust me, all you Lord of the Rings nerds and Lord of the Rings Reddit think I'm crazy, obviously. Ivan, you have some guts, man, to say your book is better than the fucking God of Fantasy, J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, the world of Middle Earth. Look, I'm gonna admit, the world of Middle Earth and the dialogue stands out more in Lord of the Rings than my world, obviously. But the story of Zanus stands out more than J.R.R. Tolkien's book. Hence why Zanus is a better book, obviously. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to your story. The whole purpose of a book is to entertain the reader. Did you tell a good story or not? That's the main purpose of a book, to entertain the reader. You can have great world building, you can have great dialogue, obviously, but how good's your story? You see what I'm saying? How good is your story? You see what I'm saying? Hence why Zanus takes the crown, obviously. It's better than J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. But I'm going to keep telling you guys, I'm going to keep saying this, that way you guys don't, you know what I'm saying? That way you guys, Ivan's world building is not as good. Look, I'm gonna tell you in advance. My world building is not as good as J.R.R. Tolkien's. It's good, obviously, but it's not as good as J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings world building is so deep and in depth, it's crazy. It is so deep, nothing can ever top that, man. It's so deep. And the dialogue is richer in his book than my book, obviously. The language of the elves, the speech, richer than my book. I have rich dialogue, but it's not as rich as Lord of the Rings. obviously. But the story of my book is better than J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. As J.R.R. Tolkien's book is just about Aragorn becoming king, Aragorn, Gimli, Gandalf, and Legolas, and their men fighting the forces of Sauron and Isengard. That's pretty much the story. And Frodo destroying the One Ring that possesses people to defeat Sauron once and for all. It's a powerful story, but it's not as powerful as Zanus. Zanus is a deep story. You have Takis in agony. Why is he in agony? He's about to go to war against the devil himself. You have the cursed devil answer of the south. Don't forget that. I won't spoil the story for you. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, Takis is born. He's born as a kid. He doesn't know his destiny. He lives behind the walls. And he finds out his destiny. It's a fucking amazing story, man. Better than even Lord of the Rings. Yeah, man. It's a masterpiece of a story, man. A little raw in some sections. There's some sections when you read my book. Yeah, Ivan could have used Ivan could have used an editor in a couple sections in his book. But man, Ivan did this all on his own without no help. Like, he wrote a book better than all these fucking famous fantasy authors' books. Better than J.K. Rowling's book. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Sanderson's, George R. Martin's. You know what I'm saying? Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time. Stephen Erickson's Malazan series. Michael J. Sullivan. Ryan's his Orion series, whatever it's called. I forget what it's called. I forget. Yeah. Better than all those books, man. Yeah. But I'm gonna make a prediction. Some of you Lord of the Rings nerds and Lord of the Rings Reddit, you might like J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings better than my Zanus book. I highly doubt it though. Because Lord of the Rings is a drag to read, man. Like, even though it's a masterpiece, man, the story can be a bit boring. The book can be a bit boring in some sections. Especially Fellowship of the Ring, man. Fellowship of the Ring is a drag to fucking read, man. The first half is, man, it's really, really boring. It's really, really boring. It's just Frodo and Sam, Pippin and Merry just walking, talking, meeting people on the way, and eventually Frodo gets stabbed. You know what I'm saying? Before he meets Aragorn and Bree, obviously, and Glorfindel takes him to the ford, and then he wakes up in Rivendell, obviously, and you have the long Council of Elrond, and then once the ring goes south, that's when the story gets more interesting. But even then, it's still a bit dry. It's still, if a drag reads, a bit boring. I read all 3 books. I finished Return of the King like a month ago. I read all 3 books. All I have left to read is the appendices, obviously, which I'll eventually read. It's only like 150 pages. I'll eventually read it, obviously. I'll read it. Lord of the Rings is a bit of a drag to read, and it's known. J.R.R. Tolkien was criticized. I did some research. J.R.R. Tolkien was, even though everyone knew he wrote a masterpiece, but J.R.R. Tolkien was criticized for his book being dry and a bit boring. I'm not kidding around, man. A lot of critics criticized J.R.R. Tolkien's book for being dry, over descriptive, and a bit boring. You see what I'm saying? And like, when you read Lord of the Rings, you can tell it's a dated book, man. Yeah, this is clearly written by someone who was born in a different era who was born in a different time. J.R.R. Tolkien was born 100 years before I was born. He was born in the dawn of the 20th century, obviously. He grew up in a different time, you see what I'm saying? And that's why you can tell his writing is a bit dated when you read it. When you read all these authors today, they don't write like the way he wrote. They don't go on for like 20 pages describing trees, the sunset, the grass, the door, the horse. They don't do that. No, they what? Authors these days, they describe a lot of things, but they usually get to the point. Whereas me, I don't do that. Me, I stay away from over descriptive pages. If you do that, your book can get boring. I get to the point, focus on the characters' dialogue and their perspective, what they see. So instead of describing the lands, describe the lands from the character's perspective. That way your story is more interesting. I know what I'm doing. Hence why my world building does jump out on the page. Even though I give very, very vague descriptions, I describe the lands from the character's perspective. They talk about the pillars in the ancient city. Oh my god, this city looks old. You know what I'm saying? This looks like a city when they go through the ancient Greek city. Yeah. I describe the lands through the character's perspective. Hence why my book is better than J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, because I show, I don't tell. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. My book is so good, guys, that even university professors, man, I guarantee you, even university professors who teach creative writing, I guarantee you they're going to tell if you guys want to learn, the ones who teach fantasy, yeah, man, if you guys want to learn creative writing, man, read Ivan's book. Ivan wrote the best fantasy novel ever, man. Like, he wrote a masterpiece, man, that I can never write. And these guys are all smart people, yeah. Obviously. Yeah, I even wrote the greatest like literature and fantasy in history, man. The greatest fantasy literature in history. Yeah, I wrote a masterpiece. That's why my movie will be better than Peter Jackson with the Rings by a slim margin. Some kind of here.